Good afternoon, everybody out there in Videoland and on the radio, 4680q.com live. Yes, I'm back. I am back. Took a few days off there, but I'm back. And here we are, back in the studio again. I'm back in the saddle, so to speak. Today, Manic Monday, I have a special guest. And that special guest is Sue Heaton. And she is from African Woman Acting. And she's going to tell us a little bit about her organization, right, Sue?
Yes, that's correct.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really
pleasure to have you. I was saying how beautiful her hair is.
Oh, thank you so much.
And she's going to tell us about the AWA Festival taking place at Oaks Garden Theater down the parks on August 17th, 18th, and 19th. I think it ends, right? Is it 2 days?
It's 2 days. So 17th and 18th are the two festival days. Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Correct. All right. Yeah. All righty. So let's hear about African Woman Acting, because I'm sure a lot of people in Niagara Falls don't know about it. It's right downtown here, just down the street. Their headquarters, and but I don't think a lot of people know about African Woman Acting.
No, I agree with you. So first of all, as you said, my name is Susan Heaton, and I'm the program coordinator at AWA, which is African Women Acting. And African Women Acting, the Niagara Falls branch is located at 4337 Queen Street East. I say East all the time. I mix that up with Toronto, but it's just Queen Street. It's in front of the City Hall, directly right there. And it is a cultural space. So, sometimes people say, what does that mean? So at African Women Acting, the cultural space itself has lots of artwork that we brought in from the continent, actually, of Africa. So different artwork. There's artwork from local artists. Louis Sander has artwork there, the paintings on the wall. So everything that you're going to see if you come into the center is tied to an individual or a visual artist or an artisan. And they can be purchased as well. So that is definitely great. And the format how African Women Acting, the space is set up is that you can come in and have lunch. So there is the Awa Kitchen, which serves Caribbean and Nigerian food. And it's also, a place you can come in and relax. We have an exhibition going on there that we've had since February. So it is Black Women Excellence. And what that featured was Black women from our community that have really made a difference. And they come in and they speak at our events and they share their knowledge. And so, it's women that are 55 and over. So they've really done their time and they really have a lot to offer. So that exhibition is going on. But what we have currently that's coming up is the AWA Fest. So AWA presents a festival. It's been running for 4 years. And this is our fourth installment. It is at the Oaks Garden, and it is on for 2 days. Now, this will be a melting pot. So it's not just, as the name may suggest, you think, oh, it's African music alone. No, we're talking the KLM company, which is a Bollywood dance company. And it's a troupe that comes in about 24, 30 of them. And it's amazing. I've had an opportunity to see them perform before, and it's completely amazing. We do have Indigenous artists that are from right here in Niagara. A lot of our artists, in fact, are from here in Niagara. And they're going to get an opportunity to perform. CDOT will be there. Yagna is our belly dancer, and she does amazing work. And she's going to do workshops. So not only is it just something you can come and watch, it is interactive as well. And you can participate in workshops, drumming workshops.
So, I can belly dance?
Absolutely.
Oh, boy.
And she'll show you how.
I don't think anybody wants to see that.
She can show you how, and definitely.
I don't know if anybody would want to see that.
Well, you never know. She's really good. She's really good. I mean,
I'd like to see her, but I don't know if she really want to see me.
I've had a chance, of course, to see her in action, and I was amazed by what she does in terms of the crowd and any level. So it was great. We also have an amazing workshop for a drumming circle. So, a lot of times, you're watching YouTube and you see a drumming circle, an African drumming circle, and you say, well, how could I learn to do that? We're going to have it there.
Oh,
not
wow.
only as a performance where you can watch it, but in the earlier in the afternoon, you can purchase online at through Eventbrite. You can purchase the workshop. $20 can get you to learn how to do the drumming circle, and we have a master drummer, Sherman Charles, that's coming, that is going to teach how to do the drumming, the correct technique, what it means. So I had an opportunity to learn. You tap here, it means this. You tap there, it means that. And through some of my learning, I had an opportunity to go to Africa last year with African women acting, and just learning that a part of that drumming was that's how you say it's dinner time. And so that's how they would know it's time to eat. So there's so much history behind it, and he's very well versed. So really, really looking forward to it. The Oaks Garden, there's no charge.
No charge. That's important.
I know, there's no charge. And amazing food will be there. Amazing vendors will be there. Local artisans from the GTA. You're able to pick up lots of handmade things and really support local artists and local artisans. So we're not bringing anything from overseas or something like that to say you don't know where it's coming from. It's coming from a foreign country. It's coming from someone right here. That's their bread and butter. So you're really going to be supporting them. And then the lineup is incredible. I had an opportunity. You're
talking about the artists that are playing, they're performing?
Yes. Oh man, you're going to be thrilled. The people of Niagara, everybody come out. It's the curation of the lineup is very nice. So it will take you almost like a crescendo. It's going to just take you there and end the night with beautiful performances every single night. So it's going to be a full 2 days.
Well, you know what I think a lot of people think, there's no parking down there. Where do they go to park? What do they do to park? Because that is a problem down at Oaks Garden Theater.
Oaks Garden does have a little bit of a parking issue. I'm going to suggest you park at the top of the hill. There are some designated parking around in the area, but if you want the true experience and not the hustle and bustle, just park at the top of the hill. Come on down.
Can they stroll through the Clifton Hill area?
Absolutely. So, I mean, as local Niagara folks, sometimes we're like, oh, that's too touristy, but just, blend in. Come on down. Show them our spirit.
Well, I've heard nothing but good about this for the last 2 or 3 years. And man, oh man, I can't even imagine a better venue for your event than Oaks Garden Theater. I mean, first of all, Oaks Garden Theater is beautiful with the backdrop of Niagara Falls and the American Falls. Are you kidding me?
You can, it cannot happen anywhere else. So sometimes, you hear advertising and people go, yeah, our show is going to be the greatest show. And no, but this is actually, it can't happen anywhere else because Niagara Falls is the one and only, and that is the backdrop. So the way it's set up, it's an amphitheater. And so when you're looking onto the stage, you're also getting a true vision of Niagara Falls. So yes, so we've had a tour of the venue just last week, and man, they're in for something that is amazing.
It is spectacular. Every time you go down there, I mean, just with the falls itself as a backdrop.
Exactly.
And Oaks Garden Theater is kept groomed immaculately. It's unlike the meteor crater across the street. It is groomed immaculately.
Yes,
it's fantastic. So yeah, if you are around on Saturday and Sunday, you got to get down there and check it out and have and I would imagine you have some kind of food trucks or something.
Oh no, yeah. So there's a complete lineup of vendors. So you'll be able to enjoy again anything from the Caribbean, anything local. So it has everything. I mean, we have our regular festival affairs, hamburger, hot dogs, but if your palate's a little more robust, there'll
Good way to put it.
Yeah, there'll be some spicy stuff there as well. I know that Jamaican patties will be there.
They're good.
Oh yeah. And so there'll be some meat pies for people that don't participate in the meat side of things. There's going to be vegetarian options. One of them that I know is on the menu is a curried chickpea. Oh man, it's salivating. It's really good. We will have so much that you'll be able to taste. Now, incidentally, thank you for reminding me, we do have a pass you can buy. So you can buy for $15, you could purchase a food pass and sample the meal. So
what
Jamaican jerk chicken. You can say, hey, listen, I've never tried that. I don't want a full plate. I want to try it so that you can buy it next time or buy it right there, really. But you can do a sampler, and the sampler will get you to chase jollof rice. That's going to be there, I know for sure. We're also just a lot of food.
Yeah, and that's a great idea because a lot of people are kind of hesitant to go into, say, a Jamaican restaurant or Nigerian or I mean, for that matter, Portuguese or any of these other, ethnicities. These local flavors of the country they come from because they don't know if they'll like it or not. They don't want to drop $50 or $60. So here we go. For $15, you can go do a little taste test around the world.
Exactly. I love that. So you can taste. So you have your wristband and you can say, I would like to try what that tastes like. And then if you really like, once you've tasted, a smorgasbord, then you say, I really liked blank. You can go back and get a full meal and knowing that you like it. So I thought that was a great idea as well. And it's going to work very well, especially, for people that might not, like spice or not too much flavor. Try it.
Yeah, right on. Go. Yeah. Give it a shot. I mean, for $15, you might find something you really like, and then you get addicted to it. You get hooked.
Exactly. And if you're addicted and it is an hour menu, you can definitely do it. We're also on Uber Eats. So, if you go under African Woman Acting, it is there.
Now, what about adult beverages? Everybody always asks about that.
No. Well, unfortunately, the city and the park, I should say, is not allowing that just because it's an open event. Yeah, so family, children will be there. Incidentally, with children, we do have a children's play area that is being put on by the Riverbrink Museum. So that is going to be very nice. I've just seen their schedule. So there's a kids zone. But
beautiful.
Alcohol, no.
Good. I know adult beverages are kind of one of those things. When you get into a big open space like Oaks Garden Theater, it's very hard to control.
Very hard.
And the Parks Commission itself is very strict about stuff.
Exactly. So liability is a big thing. And as you said, it's very open. If anyone's been there, you know that there's many entrances and exits and things like that. So it's not like just a venue where you come in and you close the door and you can control that environment. It would be difficult to control. But nonetheless, it's going to be great.
Yeah, you don't need booze to enjoy it.
No, you're going to be high on the music.
Is this considered your major event of the year? This is the big one?
This is the crescendo. This is the major event. This is what we work really, really hard to put on for the community and to really represent the culture that we have here. Niagara Falls has grown so much, over the past couple of years that, we try to represent each area. We have Afro pop. We have Afro jazz. We have R&B. We have jazz itself. Juliet Dunn is going to be
good.
Is her jazz personality. But there's just every genre is represented, and there's something for everybody. And it is from from 2 till from 12 o'clock you can participate in the workshops. And then from 2 o'clock there's another workshop, and then 5 o'clock we get into the music.
So what time does it end at night?
It will end at 10 p.m.
At 10 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, by then you're probably, and then you got to clean up and do stuff. It's a long day for
it is a long day, but it's going to be great. Just because we have the long summer nights. And so, 8:30, 9 o'clock, it's still pretty bright out. So it takes you right into an evening. It's a full day. So we love putting it together. AWA does other things as well. And as the program coordinator, we put on quite a few events this year, and we have quite a few coming up. We do have on the 16th, we have an artist development workshop here at AWA, which is at 437 Queen Street at the African, at the space. And what that is to help artists that don't always have access to an agent, to a label service manager, to a producer. So you'll be able to speak to the panel directly. They're coming in obviously for the festival. And while the regular visual artist, poet, musician would not have access to that, you can, again, on Eventbrite, purchase a ticket and come and get some knowledge, present yourself, and get some feedback from these major industry individuals.
That's fantastic. And if you're an artist and you don't know where to go or you need help, here we go. They're offering you some help. And I would imagine that just as part of AWA's business model on Queen Street, you can always walk in there if you need help as well.
Absolutely. So a big part of the mandate is to empower and create artist entrepreneur. And what that means is, a lot of artists, they have to pay bills. So they're constantly doing their 9 to 5, and the 9 to 5 gets in the way of their artistry. What AWA would love to see is, if you're an artist, that is what you do. You don't have to say, I'm an artist, but I'm a bartender by da da da. You can just say, I'm an artist. And you can live by your craft. So we show you ways to do that, whether it's applying for grants, whether providing a platform such as the festival where you get to perform, so you can get that on your portfolio. We have different tours, we're going actually to the continent again. So there's different tours that you can get on. There's master classes throughout the year that can help you to perfect your craft. And that's what the mandate of AWA is. Although it does say African women acting, we don't only work with female artists, we work with artists, period. But we like to empower women, because sometimes, I have to admit, it is difficult for a woman in the space at times to get their craft out there. We have some barriers that, our counterparts may not have. And so I like to talk about the business behind the show, because it's not called just show business for no reason. There's business behind there. And to understand the business, take the time to understand your business, and so you can grow your craft.
And that is a big statement right there, because it's so true. I mean, in life, so true, but especially in the music industry or the entertainment industry, because rest in peace, our buddy Rick Rose.
Absolutely.
He knew the ins and outs of the music business, and we used to sit and talk, and he said, there's a great side to the music business, but there's also another side that people don't see. And so for someone to be there trying to help people move through that side,
absolutely,
is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
It's invaluable.
It is. So, I mean, sometimes, when people speak with me, they say, well, I have a song. It's doing well, but I don't know what else to do with it. They plateaued, but there are many avenues.
There you go.
There are many ways and many platforms that you don't know about. So absolutely, if you're looking for that kind of a help, if you want, and if you're serious about your craft, that is what African Woman Acting does.
And that's something I don't think a lot of people in Niagara Falls are aware of. They just don't know it's around, or it's here. And that's why it's so great that you came into the studio today and you explained all this. I mean, the festival, it's a great thing. Go and see it. It's phenomenal. I've heard people talk about it, and they say it's out of this world. But there's also the other side to AWA.
Yes.
And that is what you just described right now, helping people empowering people.
Yes.
You can't ask for more than that.
Yeah.
So if people want to be empowered,
yes,
how do they get a hold of you guys?
All right. So if you're in the Niagara area and you're able to come down to the office, absolutely, you can do that. It's 4337 Queen Street. If you're not local, or if you're working, or and you don't have a chance to just drop in, you can go on our website, which is africanwomanacting.org. And check us out and see what's going on. And our events are all there. We have events all the time. So, you could pop in on, let's say, a Thursday, a Friday. The office is open on Fridays. You can pop in for a meal and have a chat. And I mean, anything that you need, if you want, our phone number is there. Give us a call. We can meet up, whether myself, our executive director is Sonia Imey. Just give us a call, and we can definitely, navigate. If you don't know something and you are in this industry, chances are we know it.
Yeah, and with your head office, I guess it's your head office or your main office in Toronto.
It is.
That's fantastic, because you have the connections that maybe local people wouldn't have in the Toronto area.
Exactly. So we just completed in the Toronto office just completed Arts in the Park. So it was a great thing. And so if you wanted to get in on that, absolutely. If you approached one of us, you presented it, we can present it for you. Representation sometimes is key. So we are there for that. And the empowering part is really getting the stage sometimes to show your work, present your work. Very important.
Showcasing. Yes. Anything else you want to tell anybody about your festival coming up?
Oh yeah. So the festival itself is a must see. The lineup is great. We've put a lot of time and a lot of thought into it. Please come out and support your local artists. They're all going to be there. We've made sure that local Niagara artists are on the show. So this could be, your nephew. It could be, but come and support and show them the love because at some point we're going to have a Justin Bieber or a Drake or something. Oh yeah, I know that kid, right? So come and see them while they're still walking among us.
Yeah, because once they aren't, you don't see them anymore.
Exactly. So definitely, it's going to be a great time. It's a lot of planning went into it, and I know that it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it's like I say, I've heard so many good things about it. So if you get a chance, go down Oaks Garden Theater, August 17th and 18th.
Absolutely.
And don't forget that $15 taste. I love that.
Yes.
I like food, and that's something I would do because I always wonder about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go into a restaurant, order it, and then you don't eat it.
Exactly.
This way,
Exactly. So it's going to give you a chance to taste the things that you might say, yeah, I've heard about that, but I've never had a chance to taste Ferrero, because you're like, I've only seen that in a movie, but you can taste it. So, you get a little sample size, you taste it, you like it, good. But make a mental note. I like that.
Me too. I think it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Especially when you get into culinary stuff, people don't know,
Exactly. So
great.
Even for myself, there's still stuff I haven't tasted. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And of course we'll have a dessert. There used to be a local lady here on Queen Street, so we'll have some dessert from her as well. And it's local. Everything is going to be local.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Love it. Local flavor, local food, local people, local performers.
Yes.
In a local organization that does a lot of good in the community. We thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, great, man. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. I look forward to seeing everybody there. Come out. We would love to see you.
There you go. Go out. Get out there. Go check it out. I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And you can hang out with Sue.
Yes, I will be there. Busy as a bee, but I'll be there.
There you go. Hey, thank you so much,
yes,
Sue.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Me too.
And have you come in. And,
all right.
Good luck with your event.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I'm sure we'll see reports of it after.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
And while Sue's checking out, I'm going to adjust the camera, so stay right there.
Yes.
And
bye-bye.
We'll get you back on me, and I'm going to finish the show here with my normal Your City, Your Voice.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, take care,
all right,
Sue.
Take care.
Take care. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye, Sue.
Bye.
You're a movie star.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to get this going over here with the regular show. Let's see if I've got this lined up right. Yes, here I am. Oops, something's beeping. What's beeping? Maybe it's the phone. I don't know. Okay. We're back with Your City, Your Voice. And we're going to shut all these other things off so we don't get any buzz or clicks or like that. What I just did there, I dropped the microphone, the little microphone. And I get back to Your City, Your Voice. First, I want to mention my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. Of course, my name is Paul Calamere. This is Your City, Your Voice coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls in the beautiful studios of 4680Q Radio. And that was Sue Heaton from AWA, African Women Acting, with their big event on the August 17th, 18th weekend in Niagara Falls down at Oaks Garden Theater. Support our people. Local event, local people, support them. How can you go wrong? Well, Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. It's hot out there today. It's got to be 90 degrees out there already. And I am so glad my car's air conditioning is working. I'm telling you, it'd be a nightmare if it wasn't. It's hot in here. If it's not, you got to go see Wild Bill, Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's. You got to go down to Wild Bill's. Get him to fix your car. Anything that's wrong with your car, he's going to take care of. Alignments, mufflers, exhaust, brakes, you name it, he can fix it. Has all the latest diagnostic equipment to make sure you know what's wrong with your car and what's going on with it. And at the end of the day, he's going to fix it and get you back on the road. Happy motoring. That's what you want in the summer when you take your wife and kids away on vacation. Believe me, I was away for 4 days there, and I would have hated it if the car broke down, but it didn't. That's what you want. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop by the Kia dealership on Oakwood Drive in Niagara Falls. Ken Hunter, proprietor. Go see Ken. Tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. We'll get to our second sponsor, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, in another 15 minutes or so. So that was great about the festival, and but man, there's so much going on. And I just read a little story. When I got back, I always check the news, right? When you're out of town, you get the news, but not a lot of what's going on around town. But I got a little thing, and I saw a neat little thing, and how happy that the people of Gananoque in the Thousand Islands are, because they received a check for $253,903 from their casino. Yeah, they love it because it's extra money for them that they can use to help keep the city clean and build the roads and everything else. Now, can you imagine how happy they would be if they got 24 million like Niagara Falls does? Instead of 253,000 for a quarter. We had 6 million, 5.8 million for a quarter. Imagine how much they could do with that. Imagine how fortunate we are. Yet, I bet their city has better roads and cleaner and is nicer than here. Just an interesting little thing there, that they get like maybe a 25th of what we get, 1 million compared to 24 million. And I bet you they have better roads. Where's that money going? What are we doing with that money? Because I went away, I came back, the roads were still crappy. Nobody's fixed anything. The Jawbreaker, that stretch from the train tracks to Thoroldson Road on Portage Road, I call it the Jawbreaker now because you go through there and your teeth rattle. It's a killer. So, we got to be more responsible. We got to put the pressure on people, these guys in the city council, to figure out where our money's going and why we don't have better roads, why we don't have weeds cleaned up, and why the city's a big junkyard. Anyway, I digress. Every time I see stuff like this, it just gets me going. It gets me mad. We got these guys in the city council, and we're no better off than we were 4 years ago. Well, they've been on for 2 years, this one, but most of them have been on for I don't know how many years. But we're no better off. Nothing's gotten any better around here. Oh yeah, a couple of roads have been repaved. Drummond Road was fixed. Oh, that's it. Still a ton to go. Man, oh man, is anybody out there going to be run for mayor next year? Because if you do, pledge $100 million over the next 5 years from the election date for the roads. Pledge $100 million for the roads. And another $20 million to beautify the city. There's $120 million over 5 years. Not a lot of money. What's that? $24 million a year. That's it. And earmark it for that. You're going to win an election because an old politician told me, if you have a clean city, you have good roads, you're going to get elected if that's what you promise people and you carry it out. Well, we don't have either, and they keep getting elected. Right? And it sounds like I'm yelling and screaming about the election, which is 2 years away, but still, I mean, come on. Like Ralph Panucci said, we don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem. So who's going to get out there and run for mayor and pledge $120 million over the next 5 years when they get elected for roads and to keep the city clean? Anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Interesting. But on the other hand, the city spent $105,000 to recruit 2 doctors year to date. So we're over halfway through 2024, and the city has found 2 new doctors, and they spent $105,000 to do it. Now, I don't think that even comes close to having enough doctors in Niagara Falls, is there? I think there's in the region, there's 145,000 people that don't have doctors or something. I don't know how many in Niagara Falls, but every time I talk to somebody, they don't have a doctor. Where the heck's their doctor? I don't know. Don't ask me. They don't have one. They can't find one. So we need more than that. I don't know. 2 doctors. That seems pretty low. I mean, we got to be able to get more than that. No? I don't know. Maybe that's high. I know it's a big problem across Canada, not just around here. But Welland managed to recruit 5 new doctors. Can you imagine that? Welland. And I got to think, anybody who comes to town, oh, let's see, we're going to get a doctor, a guy coming out of med school from Toronto, takes the train down here, gets off, looks and says, no, 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 I'm getting out of here. No, no, this isn't the town I want to live in. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way the city is. They don't want to live in a tourist town. They don't want to do it. I don't know. But Welland managed to recruit 5 doctors. So I've got to think somewhere along the line here, there's a problem. We got some kind of a problem. Houston, we have a problem. When Welland can recruit 5 and we can only recruit 2, and look what we've got. We've got the falls, we've got the parks, we got everything. And they don't want to come to Niagara Falls? And I think maybe they should be asking some different questions, don't you? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not a genius here. Hi out there in Videoland. I'm not a genius here, but you'd think that they'd I should be looking at the camera, not the microphone. I mean, I'm doing it live on video. I'm watching the microphone. But you think they can recruit more? But I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to drive their new Mercedes Benz on these roads. They're such a mess, right? Screw that. I'm going to buy a new Mercedes when I become a doctor and I'm going to drive it on this. I'm going to take it down the job breaker. Are you kidding me? I don't know. I don't know why, but you know what? That's the story, and that's a true story. At the end of the day, the question has to be answered. Why Welland? I don't get it. Somebody should go and find these 5 new recruits and say, hey, why did you choose Welland? Somebody should do that from City Hall. One of the staffers. Call them up and ask them, why'd you choose Welland over Niagara Falls? It doesn't make sense. Of all the places, but yet they got them and we don't. So some big stuff has been happening south of the border, and I don't want to take a lot of time today to talk about it. Tomorrow, Peter Dichter's coming in, and we're going to hammer this subject about what's going on in the United States. And everybody asks, why do you care about the United States, Paul? Who cares about the United States? We have our own problems. Justin Trudeau's in hiding or somewhere. Nobody's seen him for a while. Somebody told me there was an assassination plot against him. I don't know why, but that's what I heard. Some crazy thing like that. And he's in hiding. But we watch the United States because what happens down there affects Canada. They're our biggest trading partner. The tail doesn't wag the dog wags the tail. Whatever happens there is decided there affects us greatly. So it's up to us to watch what's going on. And of course, we've seen things in the United States that are just outrageous. Trying to take Trump's life, assassination attempt on Trump, and then we come right back and we see the coup d'etat against Joe Biden. No, we'll talk about this more tomorrow. No doubt about that. But just a preliminary. I mean, the guy went to Vegas. He had a bad debate. Then he went to Vegas and he got sick there. And I don't know how many people know about this or heard about this, but he did get sick in Vegas. They were taking him to the hospital. They redirected his entourage to the airport, to the Air Force One, and then took him back to Delaware. And basically, he hasn't been seen a lot since. But they just told him, Obama at that point said, this is it, the 25th. And of course, to be able to drop the 25th on the poor guy, they have to get the okay of Kamala. And of course, they told her, you will be the anointed one. So she gave him the go-ahead, and they got rid of Joe Biden on a coup, and they coronated Kamala Harris. I mean, the guys who are saying that Trump it'll be the end of democracy if they elect Trump, if they let Trump get elected, is the party that, rather than going through the Democratic National Convention and nominating someone to be president, and it might not be Kamala, there's a lot of people who would probably run, they just anointed her. You're the one. The white smoke's coming out of the White House. The Pope's been elected or appointed, and no election or nothing. She never received one vote in any primary ever. And she's going to be the one. And there's other people who ran against Biden, when he was doing the primaries and he got 14 million votes, they just took them away from him and gave them to Kamala. And the other people who ran, one guy got 500,000 votes in all the primaries. He's got more than Kamala. She got 0. but yet she's appointed. Now they're saying Trump's going to ruin democracy. Give me a break. Give me a break. That right there is ruining democracy. But anyway, like we're going to talk more about this tomorrow. But you know what? She's on a little honeymoon right now. Everybody's loving this pop culture Kamala, but believe me, she is not the one. In a couple weeks, she's going to fall from grace because, regardless of what she says or how giggly and laughy and this and that, the platform is the same as Joe Biden was running on, and they hated it, and they were going to get rid of him when it has to do with the economy and the war. And now we see Hezbollah just dropped a couple of bombs on a soccer field and killed a bunch of kids. The war's heating up in the Mideast now, and expect Israel to launch a counterattack in the next 48 hours. I would probably say the next day. And once they start that, excuse me, I get in here and I get a cough. But once they start that, it could get really nasty. It could get really nasty over there. And Iran's behind it. We know that. Lifting the sanctions, giving them money, and letting them sell oil again is just inflame that area. And that's all on Joe Biden. And that's all on Kamala Harris. And add to it, Kamala Harris lied about Biden's condition. I mean, just a month ago or so, she said he was sharp as a tack. When they go into the meetings, he's the sharpest one there. He's the one. That was a bunch of baloney. We know that now. And there's a lot of Democrats who are not gung-ho on Kneepad Nancy. I'll tell you that right now. She's done nothing and will do nothing. What's she done? The only thing she did was open the border and keep it open. The border's sorry, never stopped one person from coming in this country. Not this country, the United States. And this country too, because they filtered up and came through Roxham Road, and we have them sitting in our hotels here. So yeah, this country, I could say that. But you know what? She's the leader of DEI, Diversion, Equity, and Inclusion. We saw how that worked out with the Secret Service. When you hire by sex, race, color, creed, any other parameter than quality, ability, that's what you want. Quality and ability. You don't want to hire somebody because they're black or a woman or whatever, gay. Well, it doesn't matter. If you are the most qualified, you get hired. That's the bottom line. And when you don't do it that way, that's what you get. You get a 5-foot woman trying to protect a 6'3" president. It's just ridiculous. And Cheadle, yeah, the director of the Secret Service, where's she now? She's gone. She's gone. Gone. She resigned. She had to. They were hammering her. And she did a rotten job, and she never even went to the site of the assassination attempt. Never even went to the site. So, anyway. And it's interesting that Kamala is probably going to pick a older white guy to be her vice president. Wow. That surprised me. I figured she would pick some other, maybe a woman or a black woman or a gay Buttigieg, one of those guys. But no, she might still pick him, but I doubt it. That guy's screwed up so bad. He didn't go to Palestine when the train exploded. He hasn't done anything, and he's just he's a real circus himself. So I mean, it's going to be Trump against her, and Trump. I thought Trump is going to really be watching what he says. He's not, though. Trump is right back to being Trump. He's not watching what he says. He's calling her out on everything, and I cannot wait for a debate. Trump will eviscerate her. He's going to tear her limb from limb. It's going to be goofy, and the Republican National Convention starts on August 19th, so we only have a couple weeks before that happens. And oh my God, watch that. It's in Chicago, home of the 1968 Democratic National Convention riots. They tore the place down. and they're right back at it. And the Palestinians are protesting all the time now. The terrorists are protesting. They don't like Joe Biden and supporting Israel, and they're going to be out in full blast. They're out all over the place. They're blocking our bridge here last weekend or whatever. I mean, it's just getting to be a nutty place. Nutty place. So we'll talk more about all this tomorrow with Peter and I. We're going to talk about a lot of things that are going on that nobody talks about, of course, because they don't want to touch these subjects. They figure they're going to get in trouble, but at the end of the day, it needs to be talked about. You don't get anything or get anywhere if both sides stay quiet and they don't talk. And I'm not talking protesting and all that. I'm talking sitting down and talking about things and figuring out what's best for everybody through discussion. But anyway, that's that. And I know I've blocked a ton of people on Facebook. I've had enough. I've had enough of the Trump syndrome here, where people are just bashing Trump and they can't tell anybody why. They're just going crazy. I blocked everybody, and I even blocked John Law. I didn't even know he was included in my big purge. And he messaged me, why'd you block me? You said you'd never block me, even though we don't agree on this stuff. And I said, oh, you must have got caught up in the purge. So I unblocked you, John Law. If you're listening, you're back on the list. You're all right. And because we've had some great discussions about Trump, but he has Trump derangement syndrome too. He's bad. He's got it. He hates Trump, and he's like, I don't know why. I don't know why they hate Trump. Nobody can tell me why they hate him. What's he done before he came down that escalator in 2015? Everybody loved him. He was a movie star. He's got a star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. He's a billionaire playboy. I mean, this guy, he was friends with Oprah and the Clintons. The Clintons came to his daughter's wedding or his son's wedding, or maybe even his wedding, because he's been married 3 times. But yeah, and they loved him. And then all of a sudden, when he wouldn't play their game, the deep state, they hate him. So unbelievable. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. So I'm reading the review. The great writers there, Allison Langley and Ray Spiteri and John Law, who I mentioned. But it looks like the region is going to do another wallet biopsy on you. That's right. They're checking your wallet to see if you're more money, because the news release said they're going to need an 8.72% tax increase for 2025 to make ends meet, or you're going to be going without services. Now, we're in August. September, October, November, December is capital budget. January is operating budget. They're already giving you the warning. And that doesn't include any other peripheral services increases they don't show you, like water, police, transportation, wastewater, transportation, all this other stuff. Stuff they don't directly charge you for, but nonetheless, it's a tax. If it looks like a tax and smells like a tax, it's a tax, no matter what they call it. And of course, they're not talking about the capital budget. What do we need? We need more pencils and papers and offices and employees. We need more trucks and cars and trains and planes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But, this is crazy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. And that's just the region, of course. You haven't heard what the city has to say when their budget comes up in January. Right? Over the last 2 years, we had a 13% increase. Now we're facing another dandy, I'm sure. If the region's already talking 8%, I mean, we should get 0. There's no reason we have. I figured out we got about $70 million that is just sitting there doing nothing. And people can argue with me, but they underestimated the casino in 2023. There's about 5.6 million. And then they underestimated it in 2020 for 2024. There's about 10 million. And then they got at least 40 or 50 million for the Niagara Regional Broadband when Cogeco bought it, that we haven't seen the final numbers for. But yeah, we got tons of money. So I would expect council to give us all a 10% tax decrease this year. Wouldn't you? They got 70 million. Divide that, and you might get like a 10% decrease, maybe a $300 a year decrease, right? Yeah. And if you believe that, I got some beautiful swampland in Florida for you. But we should know where that money goes, right? So we'll see what happens. I mean, the job breakers still breaking jobs. The city's overgrown with weeds. The roads are deplorable. Homeless. There's more homeless than ever on the streets. I mean, we see them all the time. I see them every day here. And I don't know. I don't know. It just blows my mind. Our tax dollars that work hardly. They're not working for us. That's for sure. They're working for somebody. But you know what? At the end of the day, I always say that people get the government they deserve. 27% show up, the majority don't care, and they just go with the flow. They go with the flow. The ones that pay attention while they're out of luck in Niagara Falls, the people would rather go down to the park and support terrorists than show up to vote. I mean, you'll get 500 people down the park protesting Palestine, and then you have a tax-free interest rally we had like 20 people. They don't care. They don't care. Yeah, you know. Well, so why bother? Why bother having rallies? Why bother having get out the vote rallies? Nobody cares. I mean, you let the fools deal with their tax bills when they come in, but the problem is you got to listen to them cry about it, and of course, you're caught up in the "I don't care" syndrome. But there you go. I mean, we'll see what they're going to do to us. Get out the Vaseline. Let's see what they're going to do to us this year. We only have 3 or 4 months to wait, and it'll be over. And then by January, we'll know our operating budget. We'll know how much of an increase we're going to get. But seriously, folks, there's a lot of money sitting there from Niagara Regional Broadband and their overestimations of the casino revenue. They underestimated it by at least 15 or 20 million over the last 2 years. Not to mention what they did before that. I never bothered going and looking up the numbers, but these numbers are for the last couple of years anyway. So I 10% decrease this year. I was going for a tax freeze last year, but this year, we should see a decrease. I mean, come on, give us our money back. Don't be blowing it on stuff. Give us our money back. Is anybody else mad? No, nobody else is mad. I'm the only guy. Maybe Gary Wilkins. That's it. Me and Gary Wilkins get mad. Everybody else just sits around and whatever. Maybe John Ringo B. Maybe Chris Regis. Maybe the guys who really pay attention. But other than that, nobody gives a rat's ass. They don't know any of this stuff. They don't care. Now, Niagara Lake, for the third time in 5 years, posted a surplus on its operation budget. In other words, they saved money. They're expecting a surplus of $234,000, according to finance staff. And their annual budget's about $58.5 million, a third of what Niagara Falls is, of which $10 million is capital, so about $48.5 operating. And they got an increase of 6.75%, but at least they're on the right track running the city as they actually balance the budget. And they came in basically at budget. They're $234,000 under what they expected to spend. So that's money that goes back into the city coffers. It stays there. They tighten up their belts a bit. I mean, I know it's not a lot, and there's probably a lot more they can save, but at least they're on the right track and trying. It doesn't matter what we save. I mean, we save money and it just goes into all these reserves. I mean, they're saying the capital budget, the reserves for equipment was like, we took that 1.3 million that could have came back to the people, put it in that reserve, and they spent 14 million on new equipment. Why couldn't they defer putting money in the reserve for a year and give us that money back? See, these are the things they can do for you if they want to. But as soon as Councilor Peter Angelo mentioned it, Tiffany Clark got up and took it. Yeah, 1.3 million we don't have to spend on the hospital. Oh, great, give it back to the people. No, we're going to put it in the new equipment reserve. Of course they are. Of course they are. Nothing comes back to the people, ever. So whatever happened to, let's do a little whatever happened to as we wind down this show. Remember that Bentley that crashed at the border? Everybody was freaking out. We saw videos of it flying through the air, crashing into one of the customs toll booths, bursting into flames, and everybody thought it was a terrorist attack. And it was on a long weekend. I think the July 4th long weekend in 2023. I believe it was that long weekend. One long weekend anyway. Could have been the Memorial Day. But either way, it was on a long weekend. And a lot of people were thinking, hey, this could be a terrorist attack. They closed down the bridges and investigated it. But it wasn't a terrorist attack. It was just some Bentley and crashed in. And the guy was getting gas at Seneca gas station on Niagara. And he was headed to Kiss concert in Toronto, which sadly was canceled. He didn't know it. And something happened, and they've investigated it. But unfortunately, the black box in the car was totally destroyed, along with the car and along with the people, husband and wife in their 50s. And they investigated it since then, and they cannot determine whether it was a mechanical problem or a health issue. They don't know if it was a medical problem with the driver or a mechanical issue with the car. And they were known, these Flying Spurs, for having sticky accelerator problems. So they thought it was that. There was a recall for that. And that guy hadn't got his car in for a recall, I guess. But they still have no answers. So that's pretty wild that they couldn't find out. Now, they probably never will what happened here, but it was a wild, wild scene. This Bentley, $300,000 car, flying down Niagara Street, not making the turn, jumping a big cement barrier up in the air, did a half turn and smashed into a customs booth. And luckily, nobody on the customs booth was killed. And nobody on the bridge or anybody else was killed except the two in the car. But still, pretty wild scene. And yeah, pretty shocking, really. And they don't know what's wrong. They don't know what happened. So that's a follow up on that one. I always like doing whatever happened too, because you know what? I always wonder what happened. Whatever happened to? Oh, so you know what? We talk about the region, and for anybody who thought we're going to get rid of this region, remember? Oh yeah, we're going to amalgamate. We couldn't even make a decision on ward versus that large system because we're going to amalgamate, and there's no use doing anything about a ward system versus that large when they're going to amalgamate. We don't know what the province is doing. Remember that one? Remember that farce? Well, you know what? Now they're saying that they still don't know what they're doing. They said they had 7 months ago, there was a governance reform hearing held in St. Catharines with local reps from businesses and municipal reps, and they exchanged horror stories about the waste and duplication of regional government. But since that meeting where they were talking about it, not a peep from anyone, including the province. So nothing, not a word. I mean, we all hate regional government, right? Everybody hates regional government. Come on, let's face it. That was made clear years ago when there was a referendum on the ballot at election time about regional government, and like 70% of the people in Niagara Falls voted to get rid of it. In the region, voted to get rid of it. Nobody likes it. It's duplication. It's a waste of money. It costs us taxpayers a ton of money for no reason. So what's the holdup? Well, governments move at a turtle's pace. We know that. And the provincial government is no different. A committee, 7 months later, is supposed to begin work on a report in the coming months. Meaning, 7 months later, they're going to begin work on a report. Now, Niagara West MPP Sam Oosteroff, the only guy with any say in the region, because he is actually part of the ruling party, yeah, Sammy, said an additional hearing would be held in the spring. So who knows? An additional hearing, that one wasn't enough. How many hearings do they need to know that nobody wants region? It's a waste of money. But one thing we do know, we're being taxed to death by the city and region. The region's already given you the get out the Vaseline cheer. Warning, releasing the threat of an 8.72% in taxes this year. Ouch. And it's not going to be pretty for anyone in the Niagara area. We know that. We know that. We know that. Right? So, anyway, whatever. We can't stop these tax and spend liberals. We can't stop them. They don't have any power. We got to elect people who can stop it. But we don't. We elect the same people who just keep doing the same things over again. And then the definition of insanity, elect the same people over again who caused the problem and expect them to fix it. It doesn't work like that. That's not the way it works. Over to the big car companies now. Oh boy. Mercedes, Ford, GM, Stellantis, VW, Toyota, Honda. Name a car company and they'll tell you they're ceasing production of EVs. Why? Because nobody wants the damn things. Why else? They aren't selling. Yes, all the tree huggers and climate change kooks have their EVs already. The market's done. They've saturated the market. There's only so many kooks, and they've got them all. The other ones drive Subarus. One thing we do know, we're being taxed to death by the city. I'm sorry, we know that. One thing we do know, nobody wants them, and we're being taxed to death by the region and the city. That's the things we do know, right? So the latest plant to suspend their building of batteries is Umicore. They are saving their $2.7 billion they were spending in Eastern Ontario to wait for better days to build EVs, which are not going to be any better days. Most companies are going to hybrids now. That's the best they can do. And even Tesla is moving. They're not moving out of electric totally, but they're even moving other directions within the EV market. And but all because they aren't selling. I mean, I think the market's done. So Umicore, they are saving their $2.76 billion they were going to spend. The Fed's committed to throwing in $500 million towards the projects. The province throwing in another $500 million. But they didn't hand over the moolah yet, I hope, because these guys aren't going to do anything. They probably won't see the money if they've handed it over, the government. The plant's supposed to begin production in 2026, create 600 jobs, and now nothing. Nothing suspended. We don't need batteries because nobody's selling any cars. So, I mean, wait until Trump gets in. Not January 22nd, 2025, when Trump gets rid of all this green nonsense and the car companies totally suspend their electric mandate, their hoax electric mandate. The mothballs won't be able to come out fast enough. Geez, we got to wonder what that means for the new, what do you call that thing? The plant in Port Colborne. They're going to make the part of the batteries, the stalactite or whatever it's called. Anyway, what happens to them? Are they going to keep on running? Stay tuned. So Tesla sales decreased by 20% during the first quarter of 2024, down from last quarter of 2023. And this marks the second straight quarter of loss, of decline, and the first time the company's history sales that they declined in 2 months in a row, 2 straight quarters. Other car companies crowding the market, plus a decline in the thirst for Teslas over other EVs, are the reason. The share price of Tesla dropped 25% at the onset of 2024, but it recovered a little bit. The company's stock values have declined as a result of its failure to release a new affordable EV, as well as softening in the EV market. And when the competitors roll out these new fresh models that are a lot cheaper, they lose some of the market share to them. Experts said they're not worried about sales or stock. Tesla is in a growth mode. Tesla is in a growth mode based around autonomous vehicles, robo-taxis, and AI, and are well ahead of the curve on those industries. This will lead to better experience for customers once all the bugs are worked out. So you're going to be taking a robo-taxi like they have in Vegas. You get in, it takes you where you want to go, it drops you off. There's not a driver. It's just AI controlled. So we'll see what happens with that industry. I mean, they're going down fast. Anyway, that's it. We're at 1:00. I'm getting out of here. But tomorrow, Peter Dichter is in for an hour show, and it'll probably be an hour and a half by the time we finish. But we're going to talk about all the stuff going on in the United States. We're going to talk about the Canada. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to hammer on everything, including the war in the Middle East, the Ukraine war, which is almost over. Ukraine lost, by the way. They lost probably about 2 years ago. But without the United States propping them up. And Trump's going to give them the 1-2 and say, hey, he talked to Zelensky already. Hey, we're not propping you up anymore. You better make a deal. And this thing better be over, because the alternative might not be so pretty for the Ukraine. But anyway, we're going to talk about all that tomorrow on Tuesday on Trash Talking Tuesday with Peter Dichter. Wednesdays, absolutely. Thursday, I don't know what's going on. Friday, I don't know what's going on. We got to get Billy in here again. Buzzard, we got to get him in here. I got Gordon Hemley from downtown Niagara Falls, Helmay or whatever his name is, from downtown Niagara Falls. I can never get that last name straight. He's lived down here for 20 years. He's going to tell us all about downtown, what's going on. We got to get Mike Lucid in here again. He's going to give us the lowdown on a lot of stuff. So we got a lot of good guests coming in for the rest of the month here, starting in August, of course, starting next week, and should be fun. Anyway, that's it for me today. My name is Paul Calamere. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Tune in Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday for Your City, Your Voice, and Wednesdays if you're a Habs fan, absolutely, for all the latest Habs news as we move into August and September when training camp starts. Have a great day, everybody. It's a hot one. Get a cold glass of water or your favorite beverage, sit under a tree, get a book, learn something, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on Your City, Your Voice. Thank you to our sponsors. Oh, I didn't even mention Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, which I'll do right now. Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, the leader in permanent outdoor lighting. Yes, you go to a neighborhood, you see a beautiful house. It's all lit up, and you go, where did they get those lights? Phenomenal lights. Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. That's where you get them. They come in, they put up lights. They're all sealed against dust. They're all sealed against moisture. They have a lifetime warranty now. That's right, a lifetime warranty. Before they were 10 years. They're working so good. Everything's so great. They went to lifetime. Now, anything goes wrong, they're going to come and take care of it for you. And, they're so fantastic. You get your phone out. You tune in the type of lighting you want. They're built-in zones. Canada Day, red and white. Christmas, red and green. Princess Birthday, all purple. Whatever you want. You can do a million different colors. And how do you get these wonderful lights? You call up Colin Buckborough. He's the owner of Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. And you can get them at 289-969-1797. That's 289-969-1797. Or you can go to glowstonelighting.com, just like it sounds, glowstonelighting.com. And you can check out the beautiful jobs that they do on different houses. He has a Facebook page as well. Go there. I mean, they're just beautiful. You got to check it out. You got to see them. You got to get a quote. They even have financing for you. Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. Make it your guys that do permanent outdoor lighting. No more Christmas lights. No more ladders. No more falling. It's unbelievable. Call Colin. I'm checking out. Have a great day, everybody. Get in the shade. Enjoy the day. We will see you tomorrow at noon on Your City, Your Voice. Take care. Bye.